welcome back to the 1313 podcast, the most mediocre podcast in the Star Wars universe. I'm Jacob.
I'm Jackson.
I'm Tommy.
And to all you Regs, welcome back to the podcast. To all you Shinies, welcome to the podcast. This is the podcast. This is a little special episode that we have going on because we have some pretty exciting news. At HasCon, they decided to show off the 20th anniversary of the Clone Wars line coming out next year. So this is going to be figures spanning across not only Tarkovsky Clone Wars, but they're also branching into the 2008 Dave Filoni Clone Wars. And we could not be more excited to get more Clone Wars era figures spanning throughout next year. So we just want to talk about our thoughts about it. There's some speculation, some figures that we want to see what they could do, because the opportunities are endless because all the characters look the same. They're all clone troopers. It's just repaint after repaint. And you have the packaging for both the lines already. The sky's the limit. So, Tommy, what do you want to see?
So when it comes to these anniversaries that Hasbro does, there's a couple different ways they've done them in the past. They could do it the way Rogue One has done it, where they just kind of do re-releases of a bunch of figures that have already come before and do updates like photo reels, and then also throw in some extra characters like how they did with Saw Gerrera, Antok Merrick, and Galen Erso, among others. Now, I don't think this is going to be the case for the Clone Wars 20th anniversary because it has its own special logo. Rogue One did not get that treatment. So, because of that, I think and predict that we are going to be getting some Clone Wars retro packaging like we've gotten from the previous Target exclusive and Walmart exclusive waves.
So I really do agree with Tommy on that. I think we are going to get that re-release of the retro carding. The thing I'm a little bit afraid about is if they might release those initial 4 Target exclusive figures for the public, just in case people did miss out, because Anakin and Obi-Wan are iconic and for this Clone Wars line. But maybe we'll see. This could be good for those collectors who had a little bit of a difficult chance getting those, because I know they're really hard to get right now as well.
Let's get into what we want out of this line. Personally, the thing I want the most, I want 3 things. I want Phase 1 Rex in that Clone Wars packaging. It would be so easy for them to do. You just have to take that ARC Trooper helmet. You got to take some of the Rex body. They already got the soft goods for it. It would be so easy for them to do. And that's why I think that they canceled that re-release of the Red Box Rex. So that way they could come out with a new one and not oversaturate the market on Rexes about the same time. I want that. I also want, from the Tarkovsky Clone Wars, I want Anakin, but like when he's like shirtless and has the robo arm and all the tattoos on him. I think that would be so cool. You can use that Darth Maul body from that comic book line, just throw an Hayden Christensen head on there from episode 2 and just repaint it. And I think it would be a fantastic figure. And then third of all, I think it'd be so easy for them just to re-release for the Tarkovsky Clone Wars that Walgreens exclusive Obi-Wan in the Clone Trooper armor. It would just be super easy for them to do, and not a whole lot of people have that figure, and it is so freaking cool.
So as far as my personal wish list goes, I think that the obvious one would be Clone Troopers. Clone Troopers here, Clone Troopers there, Clone Troopers everywhere. I'm talking legions, commanders, grunts, everything. So I'm going to get away from that and try to pick something that is a little more obscure. Okay. One thing that I would like is a deluxe release of a Dirge figure. I think this would be a perfect opportunity for Hasbro to go ahead, do a completely new sculpt, and make a deluxe version of a Dirge figure. He's my favorite character from the 2003 series. He's so overpowered, he's so cool, and now he's canon because of the Dr. Aphra comics. So I hope we get to see him in there. And I also think a super cool vehicle pack would be based on the 2003 Clone Wars series again, doing that, like Jacob said, the Obi-Wan Kenobi in that Walgreens armor, but giving him that Clone Trooper speeder bike that he has when he fights Dirge. I think that would be a fantastic addition. Just rework the Obi-Wan figure a bit, give him that newer clone body so he could sit on the speeder, and bam, you have an awesome brand new figure.
Now, all I really want from this line personally are unique clones that we don't have before. Tommy kind of said you're talking about commanders, grunts, a lot of other people. I want to see something like Hawk. Give me something like Wax or Boyle, like any of these unique clones that we see in the Clone Wars that are iconic. Yes, Lukeness, we might even get 5s. But give us someone that's unique. Give us 99 for crying out loud. That would be a pretty awesome figure to have in a Clone Wars line. But that's all I really personally want from it. Like Tommy said, getting obscure stuff would make this so much better. And I'm just really hoping throughout all of this, we're going to get a couple of decent waves of figures. That it isn't just going to be like a one wave and you're done kind of thing. That hopefully we get at least 2 or 3. 3 hopeful, but I think we'll get 2 though.
And with this anniversary, the sky is the limit. We can do whatever we want. We can ask for whatever we want. If we're talking about the Tartakovsky Clone Wars, we can get shirtless Kid Fisto. We can get the Scuba Troopers. If we're talking 2008, maybe we can get a deluxe release of Pong Krell. That would be so cool. We can get endless amounts of unnamed clone troopers, named clone troopers. We can get Commander Blitz. We can get 99. We could get Joe Mama. We can get all of the clone. We can get Top. You know what? You can take that Clone Wars Cad Bane head and stick it on that clone trooper body, and that would be such an amazing figure. You can get us Stinky. You can get us Jabba. You can give us long-faced Count Dooku. I want it all! Give it to me all! Give it!
So, obviously, when it comes to the Clone Wars, the clone troopers are the big one. That's the one we think of. So, if we boil it down to 3 clone troopers that you would want to see most come from this line in that retro packaging, what would it be? For me, it's going to be Commander Doom from Season 6. It's going to be ARC Trooper Blitz from Season 3, I believe. And then my last one would actually be a Phase 2 hard case. I would love to see that Z6 rotary cannon. I think this is, again, a perfect opportunity to get that new accessory in the Black Series line, wedge it in there. And again, this is nothing new for Hasbro. In many cases, these are all molds they just get to repaint over and over and over again. So the cost effectiveness for them is through the roof, and they're going to make a ton of profit. So I really, really hope I get at least one of those 3 figures next year.
My 3 clone troopers got to be, obviously, Phase 1 Captain Rex is above all else. Also, I think it would be awesome if we got Season 7 Echo. Now, we already know that they have the helmet sculpt for this due to pre-production leaks that we've seen through Yak Face. So it is very possible for them to create this figure. And finally, I want to see Commander Vaughn from Season 7. The 332nd Commander, I think, would be awesome. It's just a Phase 2 Commander Cody head on the new clone body and repaint it. It would be so cool, and it's gonna sell because not only is it clone troopers, it's Ahsoka, and Ahsoka sells.
Now, if I had to go with 3, kind of 3 that I was thinking of when you guys were talking would be a Phase 1 Cody. I think that would be hard.
Yes.
Phase 2 Waxer from Unbara, and then you already know the vibe. Gotta go with the Phase 2 5s. I feel like that's a figure we have needed for so long. It's gotta happen at some point if we're getting Jesse as well.
Another thing that I want to point out too is there are endless amounts of villains other than Dirge that you could put in this line. You could repack Asajj Ventress and give her look from the early seasons of the Clone Wars, or you could give her that 2003 look. You could also take, again, like Jacob said, Count Dooku, put him in the pajamas, call it a happy day. You could also have Deluxe Savage Opress. You could have Mother Talzin, Night Sisters, Pre-Vizsla, more Death Watch members. Again, a lot of this stuff would be heavy reuse from Hasbro, and it would be so easy for them just to put it in that retro packaging and just have a plethora of awesome figures. And again, too, I would love to see figures that kind of go with designs that would match existing figures. We have the Anakin and Obi-Wan with the clone armor. I'd love to see an Ahsoka figure from the earlier seasons of the Clone Wars so that you could have a more cohesive shelf presence.
We also know that the Force is indeed female, so we can get more female characters in the line. I want to see a rework of Padme Amidala or a repack. That would be very cool. You could just do a new head sculpt because you already have that new face scan from Mighty Thor with Marvel Legends. So Hasbro already has the tools needed to make another cool figure. If you want to go above and beyond Hasbro, because we already have Padme, make Duchess Satine. That would be a very cool figure. Such a strong female character that is such a prevalent person in Star Wars. And her legacy lives on even throughout The Mandalorian. So please, give us a figure like that. Give us Tara Sinube. That would be an absolutely ludicrous figure to get in the Black Series. That little beaky boy. You already have his 3D render from Kenobi. What more work do you need? You just take it from ILM and put joints on it.
I also think this would be a big opportunity for Hasbro to do some bigger projects like the Phase 2 clone helmet. I had mentioned the speeder bike from the 2003 series before, but I'd also like to see other vehicles. There are tons of BARC speeders throughout the Clone Wars series in different colors, different styles. I think this would be a cash cow for Hasbro. When they made Clone Wars figures back in the early 2010s, when the Clone Wars 2008 series was coming out, they had BARC speeders in all different decos. I think this would be perfect to scale those up and throw some clone troopers on them, because with the current articulation of clone troopers now, they could absolutely seat themselves in a speeder bike. I think this would be a really good opportunity for that, as well as an ATRT. I think that an ATRT is a perfectly scaled vehicle to put in the Black Series line, and I think that whether you do it with Commander Pons and the ARF Troopers of Lightning Squadron with Mace Windu, the 501st Deco, or even the Episode 3 Deco we see on Kashyyyk where all these Wookiees are dead, I think that this is a perfect opportunity to do these smaller vehicles that would be doable in the Black Series line.
This is also another time where I think it would be perfect for us to get a redone Anakin Skywalker for his Episode 3 appearance
Yes.
for the later seasons of the Clone Wars. We already have this figure, but let's all be honest, the head on it is rough. It is not the greatest. And with the technology advancing at a rapid pace and Hayden Christensen being back in Star Wars and maybe appearing in Ahsoka, I think it would be a perfect time to get a new face on this figure.
I also feel like as well the Clone Wars line is going to be the perfect opportunity for Hasbro to expand the Jedi Council. This is something prequel fans have been begging for such a long time. We're missing so many prominent members of Jedi Masters on the council, and even just minor Jedi as well that we see all throughout the Clone Wars and in the prequels. So this could be their opportunity to do so.
Real quick too, I just wanted to say this is a good opportunity for Hasbro to cash in on new droid designs. I think they would do really well doing a super battle droid, or particularly I would like to see a commando droid a lot. The commando droids have 4 or 5 different appearances and repaints during the Clone Wars series, so I think that again Hasbro could really cash in on that mold if they go that way, as well as the tactical droids. I know they're kind of goofy and kind of derpy in the show, but I've always thought they were cool and I would love to see more of them.
Where are those droidicas? I also think this would be a perfect time for Hasbro to start making some figures for Tales of the Jedi. If we were to get a younger Count Dooku, get that young Ahsoka, a younger Anakin in the Clone Wars armor, Obi-Wan from the beginning of the Clone Wars when he still had his long hair, Yaddle, some more people in the Clone Wars era that we have not gotten yet. I think it would be awesome. Give us some Tales of the Jedi figure, because I think this is the only opportunity that we're actually going to get some. So this is all but wishful thinking from us here at the 1313 podcast. Hasbro, please steal these ideas and make them for us, please. We would very much appreciate it. Let us know in the comments below what you want to see out of this anniversary, because the sky is the freaking limit here. We can get pretty much anything we want, and we're probably not going to get an opportunity like this again until like another 10 years. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode. We hope that you are as excited as we are for these releases. It's going to be absolutely insane. If you haven't already, make sure that you're subscribed, leave a like, leave a comment, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Join our Patreon if you want to support us above and beyond. We do giveaways every single month. The first of the month we do a giveaway. Right now, you just gotta wait to see what it is.
Surprise!
It's a surprise right now. You'll find out probably later this month as to what the giveaway is going to be. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode, and we will see you guys next time.
Goodbye, everybody!